Few human creations weren't first invented. Here you see most things. Create the plan, make what you need, and manifest it. It's more than just manifesting. I know it's a bit of a hippie term, but it means taking what's here and making it real in our world.
To what extent is the orderly and moderate use of psychedelics positive for understanding these things?
I don't know about you, but I think people often complicate their own situations. That's just my view. Either I choose to make money, work hard, and have several options, right? And not be limited, not have to go to the banks and all that, or go to the countryside. 300 years ago, our great-great-grandparents lived well in the countryside and hunted their own food. They were stronger than most men today. The countryside, man, I feel, and that's something that lately, since I've made the money I've made, the countryside gives you everything you need. Everything. For me, like I said, I didn't realize the blackout happened until 2 days later when they told me. I know I'm repeating myself, but I can't say it enough. The world would improve if people lived in the countryside more and used phones less.
Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of LA Factoria. Today we have the great pleasure of having a friend of mine, a young, entrepreneurial and successful man, Christian Bresser. How are you, Christian?
Very well here. We can't complain. We're alive, safe and healthy.
We're alive, safe and healthy. Christian, man, when I've talked to you, just so people understand a bit about the relationship Christian and I have. At the beginning of the year, I got myself into some typical messes that people who are starting to take off usually get into, and he really helped me out. He gave me a series of tips and advice that helped me a lot. I want to publicly thank you here for those calls we had. And I wanted to ask you, how valuable do you consider the power of visualization to be? Or manifesting? I don't like the word manifesting. It sounds kind of hippie to me. We understand life. What do you want?
The ability to visualize, to manifest. I imagine, after all, you'll agree with me that things are created twice. Once here, and then in the plane where we exist. There are very few things created by humans that weren't first created here, right? Obviously, some accidents and random events have occurred, but you see most things here first. You create the plan, you create whatever you need to create, and you manifest it, right? That's what manifesting is about. I know it's a bit of a hippie term, but it means taking what's here and bringing it into our 3D world. For me, it's key, man.
It's key. So do you 100% believe that people are capable of building reality through thought?
100 and more than thought, it's emotion. And this is going to sound really hippie, I know, but there's science that backs all of this up. Everything is vibration, nothing else. It sounds hippie, but that's how it is. Everything is always vibrating, like radios that tune to different frequencies, right? I mean, you set the station to 105 and you're going to hear what's broadcast on the 105 frequency, right? Well, you're a station, man. I mean, you have a constant frequency, so depending on the thought you hold in your mind, you're going to have one emotion or another. That emotion is what's sending the signal. It makes the universe arrange everything so that you receive what matches the frequency you're vibrating at.
What advice would you give to young people and to those listening to this so they can tune into the right frequency to achieve what they desire?
To be themselves. And it sounds really simple, doesn't it? But we live in a society, man, where people are conditioned to be who others want them to be. You know what I mean?
I totally understand. It happened to me.
Maybe it happened to you. It happens to many people. Parents want you to be a certain person, to take a certain path, to think a certain way, to behave a certain way, right? And what that does is put layers on a being you have inside, which is you, that later can't shine. Let's say no, or vibrate at the frequency you should be vibrating at. Exactly, no, so that's on a more general and a bit deeper level, which we could expand on a lot, but on a more pragmatic, more practical, more down-to-earth level. Improve your habits to raise your frequency. You, for instance, have great energy because you take care of yourself. You have very intentional habits, right? Like you mentioned, a military discipline. You do the things you know will get you where you want or pictures yourself being. So, whether it's sunlight, exercise, eating well, the right music, not everything you listen to, listening to the news, don't listen to songs that program you neuro-linguistically with mindsets that won't support you, right? That kind of thing. They're very simple things that anyone can do to raise their frequency. And the higher you vibrate, the higher the frequency of what you receive will be.
So your view of manifesting doesn't match at all with the typical Instagram girls saying, I manifest a man like this?
That is...
Your view of manifesting, correct me if I'm wrong, is closely linked to You are going to attract what you deserve, according to the way you behave.
The way you vibrate. Exactly, exactly. Yes, that's the idea. I mean, at the end of the day, I think you don't get what you deserve, you get what you think you deserve. Well, we can take it one step further. Your beliefs shape your reality, especially on a subconscious level, not just consciously. If you subconsciously feel unworthy, you won't get what you want, even if you consciously believe you deserve it. Right? So it's about going to that subconscious, reprogramming it, those beliefs we operate from, so that they're aligned with what you want. So the thing about manifesting isn't really about just sitting like this and only thinking about the man or woman you want. They're going to come to me. It's not just about being clear about where you're headed. Is that North Star clear? It will shape your behaviors. And those behaviors, those actions that are tied to an emotion, meaning a frequency, are what will make you attract certain things or others. I know it all sounds a bit, but is it all backed by science, by what is actually known?
Earlier, you told me something that we could expand on much more, and now is the time to really go deeper into it. I'd love to expand on this because when I listen to you, something resonates inside me, and I mentioned it yesterday on my private community live stream. Carlos Adams said something very similar. A guy asked him, dude, for me to get into RAX, he may not reach your level, but Carlos told him, hey, don't get it twisted. If you're already talking bad about yourself, what do you mean you won't reach your level? I jumped in and said, I want you all to know something about me. The success that Red Pill had was largely because when everyone was calling me crazy, when everyone was saying, damn, Jota, how are you going to sit at a table in Spain and tell feminists to go wash dishes? Are you crazy? I said, no, it'll succeed because it's needed. And me, in my mind, there was no doubt at all. I mean, it was a flawless plan.
My mind didn't,
there was no room for failure. It was gonna work out. It was almost a religious conviction, and it did work out. And I started applying that without even knowing I was doing it. When people mentioned neuro-linguistic programming, I was like, damn, wasn't this exactly what I, without knowing it and without being aware, applied? So don't say it sounds weird because it doesn't to me anymore.
Honestly,
it sounds like something that works.
That gives results every time.
And I'd be happy to go deeper into this since I love learning about these things.
Yeah, man. Whether they believe it or not, people are under the effects of frequency, vibration, and energy. As Nikola Tesla used to say, same goes for neuro-linguistic programming. I mean, if you tell yourself, for example, I can't, but if you're telling yourself you can't, no matter what it is, how the hell are you going to be able to? Maybe from Chirivo you might be able to. But is that a lot of money? Telling yourself it's a lot of money makes you subconsciously push it away. So 100 neuro-linguistic programming plays such a big role in my life that I've stopped using the word want. No, it's not I want, it's I take. Not I need, but I take. Because to need, what do we need in this life, man?
To breathe, water and food and not much more, just a little more.
Right, isn't it? So,
basic needs.
So when you operate from the awareness that the only things you need are food, water, shelter, and maybe a bit of company so you don't get depressed. When you operate from there, you stop saying I need to make more money. You don't need to make more money. And if you say you need it, needing implies desperation. The fact that you don't have it. Yes, I want it because I don't have it. I need it because I don't have it. Are you moving away from it, man? So speak with words that don't distance you from what you're trying to manifest or what you're wishing for, right? Even in the explanation, sometimes it's hard not to use the word want or need, right? But what you visualize, man, understand that if you're able to visualize it, it already exists in a different timeline. So using those words consciously, I don't want, I don't need, I can't, or that's not for me. No, all kinds of crap. When people say, well, if I made more money, if I earned more, what does that imply? It's a condition, not a reality made in your mind.
Mind beforehand.
Exactly, not with when I make more money or when something else happens. Are you saying that it's going to happen, it's just a matter of time versus if it happens? You're taking away your responsibility, right? Like it doesn't depend on you whether it happens or not, man. It depends on you. So, do you know that's very important?
What's the science behind the idea that emotion is capable of shaping certain realities?
Emotion, energy, movement, emotion, right? Yes, it's energy and motion. All energy has a frequency, a vibration, right? The atom vibrates just a little bit. Even here in this room, between you and me, there's energy that we can't see. We don't notice it since it's not in the third dimension. If I'm mistaken, a scientist can correct me, but that's my understanding. Wow, and that contains a frequency. So that frequency is going to attract others. Other events that make you feel more of that frequency. So, man, the thought you have that affects your emotion, that emotion you're radiating, is going to make the universe. And it sounds a little weird, right? But those who get it, it's going to make the universe. Man, it arranges itself so that you receive that, just like things arrange themselves in the sky. So that from one station it can be sent to another, and that specific frequency can be picked up. It's not like when you turn on the radio, just like the example from before. 101.5. At that moment, there are a lot of frequencies in the sky, a whole bunch, they're all there, but you receive 101.5, right? Well, it's the same thing, man. With the body, it's exactly the same. So if you operate, for example, from fear, it's not just that I'm scared or something. You're going to receive more events that make you feel afraid because you're emitting the frequency of fear. So you're going to get more fear from what you emit. The frequency of abundance, of faith, of love, of peace, whatever you want, you're going to receive more events that add to that frequency, that align with that frequency.
Ah, incredible. I have a question for you, very important. To what extent? Is the use of psychedelics what opens your mind to understand certain things that don't happen in this dimension? How or if are they perceived? When you take them, what are the energy, the frequency, and the vibration like?
The question?
To make it simpler, to what extent is the orderly and moderate use of psychedelics positive? Positive for understanding these things before anything else?
Before answering, a small parenthesis to make it clear to anyone watching this that I am not encouraging the use of psychedelics. Unless you are very aware of what you are taking and you do it in the right set and setting, the right mindset and environment can make all the difference in the experience. It can change your life for the better, or it can change your life for the better, but through a path you don't like. We can discuss that later if you want. I love traveling. No. I can't really tell you. A very scientific answer, very specific in the sense of I've taken mushrooms, ayahuasca, bufo, ganja, alfeo, and a lot of these concepts. I'm talking to you about energy, frequency, masculine energy, feminine energy, the poles, all of that. It's like I already understood it and lived it, but then explaining it to someone is like, how do I explain it to you, man? If that happened in another dimension, then how do I see it? It's just that Mother Earth, man, has given us mushrooms to pick and eat, and those don't kill us, those specific ones. Obviously, Mother Earth gives us a lot of things that do kill us. Okay, but we know what is deadly and what isn't. Right? Ayahuasca has given us some plants that put us in these states that don't kill us, but connect us with other dimensions. And it's the same with bufo. Why is that? Why does Mother Earth give us that? Something you can't die from, no matter the dose. But it connects you with the light, the darkness. It depends on how you want to see it, right?
So, it can connect you with negative forces and energies, vibrations and frequencies, as well as positive ones.
It's true.
I've never done ayahuasca. I did take mushrooms once, but only for fun.
No, not to laugh in a mindset.
In the setting, I took them when I was a kid at someone's house, and we ended up laughing our heads off. It was a silly, typical thing kids do, and I was about 19 or 20. I'm not encouraging anyone to do these things. I want to make that clear, but still.
We're just talking.
I'm known for being honest.
Well then...
And honestly, yes, I have heard and listened to people who have had very positive experiences. Certainly, many billionaires have also actively spoken about microdosing.
Microdosing psilocybin, for example. And it's something I was doing for quite a while. Well, quite a while. A couple of years, not religiously measured, every day with a calendar and all that. But I had it in the fridge, just a little bit, roughly. Honestly, do you make yourself functional? Yes, these substances really make you live in the moment. You're not in the past or the future, you're in the present and the future. When it's created now.
The power of now.
For example, it's a book I haven't really read thoroughly either, because like I said, it's something I live You don't have to read it to learn. It's something you experience. So, are microdoses or a certain dose bringing you to the present? It's clearly unwise to take 1 to 3 grams of mushrooms if you want to stay functional. Don't expect to be. That's where the setting comes in. Not having a full 24 hours to take off, land, integrate, and chill. No, but a microdose is 0.2 to 0.5 grams of psilocybin. You might feel butterflies in your stomach for 10-15 minutes and emotions seem more intense. But in the end, that's what happens. Those emotions get accentuated. You feel them much stronger. If something makes you sad, you'll really feel it. And if you're happy, you'll be cracking up, right? For 15 minutes, so it can be very functional. In fact, my businesses, everything I've done, I've built mostly under the effects of either marijuana or mushrooms. So yes.
What businesses do you have? Can you explain what you do so people understand?
I run an agency that builds commercial teams of closers, setters, and cold callers for infoproduct creators and experts. We've worked with people who claimed expertise but weren't actually experts. These days, we only work with experts who truly add value to the world. On the other hand, we have an academy where we train salespeople and then connect them with business owners. So there's a bit of the business side, okay.
And your business is doing well?
What's good or bad, right? But it pays the bills, and I have more than enough. I've been living well for a few years now, at least by normal standards. And well, honestly, we can't complain.
Where are you from? What do you mean by your standard? Tell us about the beginnings of Christian Bresser. Now, it's the anime flashback.
I'll try to be as brief as possible. Man, going back, my parents have been divorced for as long as I can remember, so there was conflict there. So I was kind of like the weapon in the middle, you know? So how could that develop? It helped me, but I don't think it's needed. In school, from about age 12 to 17, I was seriously bullied. Yeah, I went to school because I was forced to. They made me go, but I went and I didn't have anyone. Maybe one friend who I thought was a friend, but then he stabbed me in the back. He stabbed me in the back. No, he stabbed me in the back. Don't worry, Christian, we don't see each other.
He stabbed you in the back?
All right.
That also sounds bad.
We understood. He was stabbing you. Exactly. Well,
that also sounds bad, damn.
We already have.
We're on dirty frequency right now.
Exactly. Let's retune. Let's change. Damn it.
We understood each other.
Yes, so, well...
That he couldn't be trusted, exactly.
He couldn't be trusted, and there was also a lot of psychological abuse. The psychological part. They used to call me names because I didn't fit in, not with the gamers or those who acted grown up. They were already smoking and partying in Benidorm, you know? I was the area's goody two-shoes. So I didn't fit in, man. I was the one who went to the countryside with my dad to make bows or to shoot or whatever. You know, So, well, I just didn't fit in much. My whole life I thought I was going to be an airplane pilot. My father, an aerobatic pilot, had an accident in '98 but continued flying, inspiring me to follow in his footsteps. When I turned 18, nothing worked out. At school, I'll get just enough grades to get out of there and enroll in the private academy. My father sacrificed a lot so I could go. I'm there studying what I thought I was going to do my whole life, and I realized, man, that I didn't want to. I don't want to be an Airbus pilot, you know? Airline pilots, with all respect, just fly Airbuses and nothing really happens. But hey, if you like it, you like it, but I prefer a bit more adrenaline, a bit more freedom, you know? So, after 7 months in there, I was like, man, what the hell am I doing? I feel like this isn't the right path for me. And I came across a video by Iman Guthrie and saw how the guy had made money. At first I didn't believe it. I thought, just another internet scammer or something, but damn, you research, and you think, man, even if half of what he says is true, if he can do it, so can I. That's the point.
If it's true.
Iman Guthrie, exactly. Especially since I'm talking about 2018. And when it started, he was a kid. Yes, he was a boy. He had just turned 17 or 18, and I was about the same. I'm 6 months older than him since he was born January 3rd. And so one day I called my old man and said, Dad, I can't take it anymore now. Context, I was supposed to have 6 months left at the academy, but only I knew it wouldn't take me 6 months. Man, it's 14 books you pay, so they're waiting for you. They expect you to finish it in a year. No way, man, I don't have much of a shot here. And supposedly I had 6 months left. My old man had already invested $50,000 for me to be there. And of course, an 18-year-old, I knew what money was. I'd worked since I was 14 and understood what it took to earn it. Every damn penny. And it was really hard, man. It was really hard. Yeah, of course.
It was a joke. What did I get into? My father?
He didn't care, and my family always expected me to follow that path. I never considered another option. I said, no, this isn't the way. After seeing Iman and learning a bit about social media marketing agency, I had no idea. I said, I don't know what it is, but if he can do it, so can I. So I called my old man, he picked me up from school, and I went back home.
What was his quick reaction?
They said I'd lost my mind, was crazy, something was wrong with me, and I only had 6 months left after all the money we'd spent. I told Dad, don't worry, I'll pay you back. I had absolute faith that I was going to become a millionaire before I turned 25. I wasn't exactly sure how. I mean, I wasn't 100% clear on how, but I knew I was going to become a millionaire before I turned 25. And I would say it, and my dad would crack up laughing.
He laughed at you?
Of course, son, keep your feet on the ground, you know. My dad has always supported me a lot. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like he didn't laugh, you know.
Well, if he laughed and didn't slap you, that's already a step forward.
Of course, an 18-year-old comes to you and says, I'm dropping out of school. Was I going to be a millionaire before 25? Unless you've done it before, it's a strange feeling. I dropped out, went home, sold my phone, borrowed money, bought Iman's course, and started the social media marketing agency. I got some clients pretty quickly. Man, I was already making 3, 4, 5,000 euros a month, depending on the month. If I lost a client, I get another one, and that's how it all started for me. Then, 2 years after I started the marketing agency, during one of my binges, I did 3 grams.
It's really cool, man. You say during one of my binges here.
Why would I lie? Honesty is cool. I've been saying this about social media for a while now. I don't see myself doing this for 10 years.
Mixed martial arts.
Social media marketing agency, of course.
Me, mixed martial arts.
Of course, no, not about fighting, no.
Okay, then.
The marketing agency. And I felt like, no, I couldn't see myself doing that in 10 years, you know? And one thing I had learned, well, from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, from Think and Grow Rich, from Iman Gassi, from Napoleon Hill, from Sam Ovens, a guy very much like Brian Tracy.
All these people.
Actually, I haven't learned that much from him, but anyway, thinking long term, always thinking long term. We don't live in a society where, I mean, for some people a year already seems like long term, you know? But it's not. A year is nothing, you know? So I say, I need to do something else. And I completely left the marketing agency. I let go of the clients. I let go of absolutely everything. And I entered a period of a few months of uncertainty, not having a clue what I would do with my life. And then the time came for me to become a closer with Iman Gassi. And that's where I started, with Iman Gassi, as a closer. And well, the rest is history. And from there to where I am right now.
Did you reach the goal you mentioned to your father?
Yes, sir. At 24.
At 24 years old.
And your father?
What did he say when you managed to become a millionaire before 25? It just sounds so surreal. Javi?
I know. It's even more. By that time, by 24, I barely remembered telling my old man that, you know? But then when I was losing, I thought, damn, I actually did it. I mean, like, years had gone by. It had been 7 years, right? So, like, after 6 years, you don't really give that much importance to what you said 6 years ago. But then you realize you actually achieved everything you once dreamed of. It just took longer than expected. I thought I'd be a millionaire within 2 years.
No, that's complicated.
Exactly.
But, well, it can be done. But honestly, it's more of a long-distance race.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. So, well, that's a bit of my story, right? So you understand, answering the question, a bit about where I come from.
Yes. How did your father react? Did he find out or was there a dad? Let's see.
Keep in mind that I was already making money before, of course.
This doesn't happen overnight. You showed up without contacting him.
You're welcome.
Dad?
Exactly. So in 2000, when did I start with Iman? 2022. What, in 2022, I made 100,000 euros in my first year with him. The next year, 150,000 euros, and the year after that. I didn't make a million. I made 998,000 euros net that I kept. No, sorry, 981,000. I have it in a YouTube video. I was 19,000 euros short of a net million. But what I'm getting at is that he already saw that I was coming from making 6 figures and then another 6 figures. What was really crazy was the big jump the following year, not in 2023, right? That's when I made those.
That's when you became a closing agency.
As an agency and as an academy. Because the problem was that we wanted more clients for the agency, but I couldn't find well-trained talent who would operate the way I wanted them to. That's why on January 1st, 2023, I uploaded a video to Instagram that didn't fully upload. Dude, there, getting some vitamin D and all, guys. I need 30 people to train. I'm going to charge you because if I don't, you won't take it seriously. So as a barrier to entry, I'm going to charge 30 people to train them. And I promise you that in less than 90 days, I'll have you working with a client. That's how the academy began, now with over 2,000 students.
And well, man, honestly, it's an incredible story, man. What I find funniest is that all this started from a get-together.
Almost everything is gone.
Or the idea to do this SM thing came to me from a get-together.
Yes. I mean, that turning point, yes, and then choosing to work with Iman, because, of course, I bought the training from him. I set up the agency, made money with it for 2 years, and then I left it and ended up working with him. From closing your agency...
It was the one that did the closing for him?
At that point, I didn't have an agency yet.
Okay.
I was just myself. The agency was founded a year after I started. I started the agency with a colleague, meaning I train you, I pair you with a client, I manage you both and take a small cut, and then another, right? And that's how the agency started to take shape, right? The funny thing about my businesses, man, is that they didn't start from like, let's see how I get rich, you know? I was working as a closer. I was making money. My friend Christian, you teach me. You set me up with a client. Yes, another one. You teach me. You set me up with a client. Yes. And there came a point where clients started coming to me, and it was like, damn, wait, let me train this guy so I can set him up with you, you know? And that's how it all started. And even working with Iman, I also went out to the countryside the day before, 24 hours without food, without a book, without anything, just water and a tent. I wasn't sure if I wanted to work with Iman or keep doing my own thing, since working with him meant being with him. I felt like I had no other options, so I faced a dilemma and went to the countryside. A short micro-retreat and 24 hours spent going inward.
And you made a decision?
I decided after seeing a dragonfly the next day.
A dragonfly?
Yes, let's see.
Let's see, tell me.
That's true. A little crazy.
Libellula decided my destiny.
No, maybe it sounds a little far-fetched, but let's see now, it doesn't sound this is far-fetched. Let's see. Bye. The day before in the countryside, 24 hours doing absolutely nothing. It was raining in Spain, which is rare, especially there in Alicante, right? But it was raining, so I had to spend the whole damn day sitting in the tent like that. I didn't know what the hell I was supposed to do with my life. One time when I went out to pee, I saw a massive dragonfly. Huge, like a combat helicopter, not just any helicopter. I'd never seen a dragonfly like that before, not that you see many around.
Yeah.
Okay, and I see it, well, I'm in the countryside, a dragonfly, okay, it's nothing. The next day I get home. In the morning, I meditate before my meeting with Iman, where they decide if I'd get hired after a month-long process, you know? I sit down to meditate. I'm on the terrace in the sunlight. Vitamin D, man. After 20 minutes, I open my eyes and don't see a dragonfly. Dude, that gut feeling you mentioned, I felt the same one 10 kilometers away in the countryside. Huge, bro. I mean, when I say this big, enormous, and well, I was all freaked out a little bit. I mean, dude, let me find out what it means to see a dragonfly, since I never see them at my house. And it says, open yourself to change, don't be afraid of change, and take opportunities. One thing, if they put me at Google 20 minutes later, they would hire me. And I remember, open yourself to change, don't be afraid of it. Boom. So is that what I'm trying to get at, right? It's not the dragonfly that spoke to me and told me to take that job, right? For 2 days straight, man, seeing the dragonfly is amazing. You'd say, what the fuck, right? The next day at home, thinking it was the same one, I looked up its meaning. And that's what helped me make the decision about whether to go or not. To move forward with that position and the job that has brought me to where I am now.
Damn, that's interesting, man. At the end of the day, I would actually ask you a question. It was considered very important. Almost everyone I interview and know, I already have a big network. We have a lot of people in common that we know, and there are few who have actually finished the normal academic and work process. Nearly everyone I know with extraordinary results achieved them outside the system and beyond planned paths. For you, I clearly want you to give me your opinion about that.
Someone who has a calling for a specific career, whether it's medicine, engineering, something like that. Passion, it's really like, damn, does it keep you up at night, man? Like, I want to learn more about that, something like that. They go through the normal system. It's not for them, but unless you have a calling, a passion for one of those professions. Is it useful for you? I don't use anything I learned in school. I'd say, do you know how to speak, man? They could have taught me at home. Actually, I learned at home. Just not English, since I attended an English school. I learned more English from watching car videos than from school or speaking with friends. Math, a calculator, whether on your Apple Watch or phone. I mean, so I feel like the system programs you to be a robot. That you have a job where, unless you specialize in something, like I said, in certain professions, you just live month to month. If something falls outside the norm, you must ask the bank for money. Boom, they've already got you. That's what the system prepares you for, to grab you. From my perspective, we're all part of the system. Anyone claiming they've escaped the matrix is lying. We live in it.
I believe financial freedom helps, but I'm not sure it fully gets you out of the matrix. Maybe in some ways. If something happens to you, like to Andrew Tate, and they block all your accounts,
What's up? Which one?
what if you're screwed? But at the end of the day, financial freedom gives you the chance to not be on the rat wheel. That's the real matrix.
You live in a different level of the matrix, another level entirely.
A level that people should aspire to be on.
Because in the end, the matrix.
I think it's this material world, period.
That's how I see it. Then there's the system.
If you have enough money, you can escape the system in some ways. Tomorrow, you could say, hey, I'm disappearing. I'm going to live in Lombo for the rest of my damn life in one of my buddy Gleb's bungalows, and that's it. And if you have enough money, you don't have to worry about anything else in your life. Just being there, meditating,
Thinking.
training, eating. Your wife, but you, if not.
If you don't have that.
Frankly, in these circles, people only talk about no, because it's 99% of the population that we should be targeting more.
Yes, money gives you options. It gives you options. And that's it now. I don't know what you think, man, but I feel like people also make their own situation a lot more complicated. Well, that's how it is, man. Either you make money. Personally, I choose to make easy money and be able to have several options, you know? I'm not restricted and don't need banks. Either you make money, bro, or go to the countryside. I mean, 300 years ago, our great-great-grandparents lived just fine in the countryside and hunted their own food. They were stronger and more competent than 90% of men today. The countryside, man, lately, since making more money, I've become more aware of it. The countryside gives you everything you need. Everything. Water, food, shelter. It toughens you up.
You buy 4 pigs, you buy 10 chickens, or you hunt them yourself.
And that's what's fucking missing, isn't it?
Hunting pigs in the field should be tough. Come finish it.
So when I see people, man, who are making €1,000 a month, month after month, with all due respect, you know? But for bringing destruction to the earth,
Not just coming down to earth.
the concept is, if you don't complain, fine. Hey, if you're overweight and you don't complain, well, it's your damn life. Do whatever you want, right? Or the one who has no money and doesn't complain, right? If you're complaining, stop, bastard. You have 2 options. Either toughen up, learn more skills, be more aware, get clearer about what the hell you want and create it, or go to the damn countryside, man, and find yourself. And live off nature. I don't know. I can live in a cramped apartment in the middle of the city with absolutely nothing, which I get, you know? It's tough to just say, I'm heading to the countryside in our society, right? What do you think? Mother Earth provides all you need to live, but people overcomplicate things.
I think that's the real way to get out of the matrix, to be absolutely self-sufficient.
That's right.
I believe it. I 100% agree with you.
Now then,
Those who talk about red pill matrix, all these concepts, at the end of the day, we are also part of the matrix. We can't forget that we are also part of the system.
absolutely, we are the system.
We create the system sometimes by choice, because if it weren't like that, as you said, we'd just leave, we'd go to the countryside. Of course, for that, you also need property and financial freedom. I'm still working on that myself. At the end of the day, I do see a viable option here, looking 10 years ahead. If everything goes as it seems it will,
If everything goes, or when it goes,
or when it goes, I have hopes that maybe it won't go. That's why my neuro-linguistic programming is focused on let's try to do everything possible to stop the direction the world is heading. Agenda 2030 Central Bank Digital Currency Carbon Footprints, absolute control over every aspect of our
lives, yes.
the international banking system, the state, and the deep state. At the end of the day, after doing everything they've told us, what are they going to do? And people don't give a damn about all that, and I say it deliberately because I wish it wouldn't happen. I see retiring to the countryside and buying chickens as a good option, but will they attack that too? In fact, I don't know if you knew that there are laws.
Here in Spain, yes?
Yes, there are laws to prevent people from having their own chickens.
Yes, man.
That's what worries me the most about modern society. Christian is something you've mentioned, and it's the lack of awareness. That's extremely worrying because I think that older generations maybe didn't have as much knowledge, but they had much more awareness of the present. 100 about the value of things, about what truly mattered. I don't know what you think about what you just did.
100. After all, I think what has changed for this to happen is that Peña has become less aware. It's all these things, the screens, the television, I was telling you about it. I've gone months without Instagram or YouTube on my phone. Maybe if I have to log in for a moment from the computer, but I don't really do it either. Because I feel, man, that the mass media, I'm not sure how to say it in Spanish, mass media.
Mainstream media.
Mainstream media.
Mainstream media of misinformation, yes?
Exactly. And doesn't the education we receive encourage us to carry out the practices that make us aware? Is it to be quiet and still, or to be alone with yourself? No, because how can someone be aware if they're always just reacting to events? So you're reactive, not proactive? No, instead stop, sit down, close your eyes, meditate, go to the countryside, go for a walk, just you, be with yourself. You become aware by spending time alone, observing your thoughts and realizing you're not your thoughts, which helps you separate from them, right? I agree, man. They had less knowledge before, but were more aware since there were fewer distractions. It was eating, drinking, sleeping, having sex, and not much more. And that, man, I feel like for me, I would love it if the world went back to that. To a life where problems aren't such stupid problems, but real problems. In fact, I'm going to say something that a lot of people won't agree with. People whose problem is just getting food, water, and shelter are happier than people who make up problems for themselves. Like, I don't know, wondering what car to buy or what watch to get. Or am I flying on this plane or that one? Or staying at this hotel? Like, dude, we're not made for those things. I mean, for certain problems that are put on us by the system we live in. What do you think about that?
I agree that at the end of the day, when you have all your needs covered and so much more, and you also have a life in which you hardly have any real worries, you reach a state in which it's more likely for them to flourish. Mental illnesses, mental health problems, lack of purpose, lack of meaning, lack of presence,
lack of cause, stress,
anxiety and depression make me question my purpose. People believe they're just bodies and only the material world is important. And at the end of the day, what's a topic we can talk about? I think there's so much more. I think what we see is actually the least real thing there is. Honestly, I believe people today have completely forgotten about the deeper spiritual level.
After all, our reality, or the reality we live in, is a construct. Our mind, everything is completely a construct. It's built by our mind. And we have to know that we are not, let's see how it was. We are spirits in a human body, not a human body in a spirit, you know? Do you know what I mean?
Maybe it's that there are people who don't even understand that there is a spirit. There are people who don't understand what the soul is. There are people who don't believe in it. And at the end of the day, I think that believing you're just a body and that when you die, nothing happens, that there's nothing more than all this is the result of chance and that there's no external factor and there's no causality behind everything. Because I believe that I'm in this world for a reason. I believe that I was born. I think the sperm that won did so for a reason.
It won for a reason.
Do you know the power it gives a person to believe that they were born and are in this world for a reason, and also to discover that reason, the mental power it gives you? People aren't aware that believing in certain things limits you.
It empowers you or it limits you. It limits you. Exactly. No, totally.
But since most people massively believe, they still believe today that there's no causality,
that God doesn't exist,
that there's no energy, that those are stupidities. that I live for the moment, seize the day, do as I please, and your actions have no consequences. People live limited lives, and on the contrary, all of us who believe otherwise. No, I'm here, me. Yo sé Jesús vale ni la castanedas is in this world for a reason. It gives me a gigantic power. There is nothing in this world that I can't overcome. And everything that happens to me, I also believe it happens for a reason.
100.
So
what's holding me back?
only I can hold myself back. People think it's just that this happens to me.
This just happens to me.
I've heard people say if my dog died, I'd be lost. Well, let me tell you something. I think that, and knock on wood, I hope it doesn't happen, but I live prepared, knowing that I'm going to lose my loved ones. Everything in this life comes to an end.
My father is going to die.
My mother, grandparents, and everyone will die.
My siblings, I don't want it.
I wish they would bury me first. But obviously I live knowing
That,
in this world there will be some catastrophes. In this world, very painful circumstances will happen that I won't be able to control. Even so, I know the harm isn't in what happened, but in how I react.
in how you react to it. So,
Is it a totally different mindset?
yes, and that's why they keep us away from it, because it empowers us a lot.
It's real power.
It's real power from knowing that I am the creator of my reality. I mean, what power is greater than that? Being the creator of your reality is the greatest power you have.
It's impossible. Can I ask you something? Something happens when I visit my grandparents. Speaking of frequency, I never watch television. I mean, well, maybe on the phone. I need to work on this since I often use my social media job as an excuse.
Do you have to, or do you choose to?
I choose.
I understand you.
I choose. I like the problem, but since I choose it, I have it. But I'm going to stop choosing it, so I'm going to stop having it. But since I have the excuse that I work on social media, I've already realized that it's just an excuse. Maybe I spend more time. No, actually 100% I spend more time than I should on social media. But with television, it's a definite no.
That's non-negotiable. I don't discuss it.
There's no negotiation. And every time I go to my grandparents' house, going back to the topic, and they put on the news, I feel something. I'm feeling a terrible vibration.
Terrible.
It's like it makes my...
It brings you down. Yes.
Completely. What do you think about that?
I think it's fucking bullshit. I mean, I'm with you, but...
To what extent do you think they do it deliberately? Keeping us at such a low frequency and vibration? Yeah, so that society doesn't wake up and become aware?
That's what I was saying. The problem with screens began with television and later with cell phones and similar devices. It's just another way to keep us distracted and to feed our brains with what they want us to consume. You turn on the news, they tell you the news, but news about what? The news that there are millions and millions and millions of things happening on the planet? Usually what's important is much more than what they're saying, so why are they even telling you that? That's to distract you, man, to keep you distracted, to lower your vibe, so you see all the problems in the world. Why don't they tell you about all the good things that happen? No, they don't tell you about the good things that happen. No, because if they did, you'd get happy. When you get happy, you raise your vibe, and when you raise your vibe, you start attracting more things that make you happy. So, if I could give someone watching this a piece of advice, dude, go out to the countryside more. Turn off the damn television. Unless, like Jota, you use social media with a very conscious purpose, don't use them. I mean, get rid of Instagram, get rid of YouTube, get rid of absolutely everything, even WhatsApp if you want to. Hey, well, to meet up with a friend or something, but damn, I don't know, 20 years ago you used to call, you know? So, more outdoors, less television, less cell phones, more being with yourself, man. More developing real skills that will actually help you, not just the ones you think will help you. Now, because I don't know what you think, man, but I think we're going to reach a point where traditional labor, like construction workers, farm workers, and so on, are going to start disappearing.
Because of robotics, and it's going to be?
Yes, but it'll be difficult since some countries won't get as much automation. And even so, those people are going abroad, which, for example, happens in Croatia. Dude, in Croatia, it's getting harder and harder to find workers. Here in Spain, it's also getting harder to find workers like plumbers, electricians, right? Even a few years ago, I would have wondered, why bother with those skills? Wait a few years and see how much those guys will charge, since there will be very few of them.
Is it true, man? I've always thought they should be charging a lot more. I also have a criticism, man, about this whole millionaire mindset. You have to be a millionaire and everything. You have to be willing to pay a price for that, and I don't think everyone is made for it, and I honestly believe that.
And besides,
This isn't a criticism at all. No, thank you. I think we should value the waiter, we should value the worker,
the worker,
we should value the plumber.
the electrician, man.
These are roles and jobs that provide something essential, fundamental, a basic necessity. Once these jobs disappear because of the mentality of no AI, no this, no that, these people deserve good pay, but the system has eliminated them. So who will work in hospitality now? Man, you make 1,200 to 1,400 euros a month, 1,800 if you're lucky. With that, you can't even get an apartment, not even one apartment.
Not anywhere. Yes.
But in Madrid, what about the one who lives in Madrid? What does he do?
I totally agree with you on that. And look, I myself make ads like, if you're fed up with your job and you're looking for an alternative, we train you in sales and connect you with a client. Complaints are for others.
Yes.
I always say, if you complain, find a solution.
Christian, isn't it fair to complain if you're working hard, doing good, and still not being appreciated?
Yes, no, I mean...
And here I have a problem with the whole liberal side saying no. Okay, no, because supply and demand, the job of a waiter is what it's worth. Look, listen to me, man, but at the end of the day, nobody, neither liberals nor the left, well, that's obviously never. I mean, the Reds never even pay for water, man. Ultimately, our problem is the financial system, which deliberately causes inflation given today's salaries. 50 years ago, you could buy a house. The working man lived well. And that's the world I want. I want a world where not everyone has to live my life. I'm doing much better than 90% of the Spanish population. Christian, you.
Obviously as well.
But man, I think we also put a certain amount of pressure on ourselves.
That's not necessary for the world.
It's not necessary for everyone. Not everyone has to have it. And those people deserve it, man. The people who want to, I want to be a plumber or I want to be a construction worker, man, they deserve to have their own home. They deserve to be able to have a family. They deserve to be, okay, yes.
I agree with that, man. And I encourage people not to do things just to make more or less money, but to do them because it truly comes from within, right? You genuinely want to do this. I mean, you genuinely want to be here right now and have this conversation. I just want to lead my team in meetings, ensure things are done right, and get clients. But what if I don't feel like it? I mean, I think the best thing a man or a woman or whoever can do is to do what they like and get paid for it. Man, and to live well with that. Seriously, don't you have a reason or can't you think of something you would use it for? Is that $1 million really from you? Don't chase $1 million, And when I started with all this crap, I did find reasons to become a millionaire, but now I care less and less about money. Yeah, I love the countryside, being with my girl and friends, enjoying a good cheap meal or barbecue. That's it, right? But why? I mean, why am I telling you all this? That not everyone should aspire to become a millionaire? And I'm 100% sure that over the years, man, plumbers are going to start getting paid more. Workers are going to start getting paid more. There aren't any because people want AI and $1 million master's degrees, bro. So what happens?
There are also tools that are now well paid.
That's the worst part of it.
I mean, I get why people who pick up skills in artificial intelligence are going to have way more opportunities nowadays than a plumber or others.
Yeah.
That was the point I wanted to make to you, man. That at the end of the day, not everyone is made for...
Not everyone is meant for the same things. Me?
We have to attack the problem, which is those who cause inflation, those who make us poorer by printing money, and those are the people who truly control the governments. 100 people are here.
Not for now.
Why? Which one?
The Rockefellers? Something like that? Yes.
Specifically, the Rockefellers family is them. They are, for me, the spearhead of evil.
Yeah, no.
It's definitely them. I recommend a book here that's banned in the United States. Okay, so are you gonna go down the rabbit hole? It was written by the head of the South African Central Bank, that guy who knew banking very well.
Okay.
He mysteriously died after writing it, obviously.
Mysteriously.
History of Central Banking and the Enslavement of Humanity.
History of Central Banking and Slavery.
Of humanity. Yes, I recommend that book to all. No politician will truly address the problem because the real issue lies with people you don't even know exist. So, the history of central banking and the enslavement of humanity?
I recommend it. I highly recommend it.
Because you'll uncover several shady things. And that there are people controlling things from the shadows? Yes, through the banks. And in fact, there have been...
I think that...
If I recall, there were 2 attempts and 6 assassinations of United States presidents. They all have the same pattern in common, trying to change.
Trying to change it and fight private banking.
I'll leave it.
Then he let it slip. I'm no expert on that either. And with the Titanic thing, I'm not sure it's really about the Titanic.
We're getting into conspiracy territory now.
Careful.
The real conspiracy.
The real conspiracy. Well, the plane, that one from Japan, I think it was, right? That crashed. You see who was inside the plane, and it's like,
Yeah, it suddenly crashes.
and no.
On the Titanic was the most reluctant aristocracy to create and establish the Federal Reserve of the United States of America there.
Exactly.
And John Pierpont Morgan was meant to be at that bank and owned the Titanic. By the way, he collected one of the biggest insurance payouts in history for that sinking.
And besides,
He eliminated the competition entirely, which opposed his major project with the Rocha family.
the Federal Reserve.
I don't trust those coincidences, especially when the same people always benefit. I just don't believe in them. And obviously, these are pretty complex topics that, by the way, we discuss a lot in my community and so on. I want to make that clear, but at this point, I'm already risking too much.
Yeah. No, if we need to put a beep, no, man.
But at the end of the day, there are times, man, when I feel like I can't speak freely on YouTube.
I can't.
Man, there are things I just can't say anymore. I get you. And I'm left wondering how I can keep moving forward with sharing information.
Yeah, but well,
I want to rephrase our earlier discussion about screens. At the end of the day, man, it's also thanks to screens, specifically these, and also the television, if you put YouTube on there. A lot of people are waking up, man, because without those screens, people would only have the screen that's the television and the mass media.
right?
Thanks to Wall Street, Wolverine, and Wallcast.
Lobo estepario to you.
Thanks to me, to a lot of people who, with more or less success, are trying to say, look, gentlemen, here is an alternative to understand how the world works in a completely different way
Different, yes.
from what television tells you. Without those screens, without... How could we wake up to what's coming?
I mean,
It would be impossible. So
at the end of the day,
I think this depends on how you use it.
just like everything, right?
Television, there's no way.
Well, yeah, hey.
Hey, the thing is, look, even so, because if you start watching the news, you start taking notes to create content about how they tell you the news.
About how they do it to you.
And neuro-linguistic programming can also be...
Well, I mean,
It's just, look, even television, even I could go on the news one day and say, I'm going to make 4 reels about how the news is told to me.
me?
Because I'm observant, I say, look, instead of telling me a mother killed, just say a mother jumped off the balcony holding her child. Instead of saying that she killed him.
I mean,
You have a good reel there. How you program to perceive things. It all depends on how things are told to you, right? It depends on how you use it.
100, I agree, man. And what's more, I myself have, I don't know how many hundreds of videos published on YouTube, hundreds of posts on Instagram. I run ads on Instagram. People know me through Instagram. So I'm grateful that they're there. It's a way for us to reach those people and plant a different seed than what they're being given. In mass media like television, the news and so on, if I could choose, man, if I ruled the world, you know, like Nas says in his song, I would get rid of them completely, man. I really think the world would be a better place if we didn't live in cities. Man, I don't know. What do you think about that? Maybe, yeah. And if we lived more in the countryside and had more time with ourselves, I think one of the main problems that leads society to be unconscious, like I said before, is that people don't spend enough time with themselves. Be quiet, not talking, not walking, just distracting themselves. No, sit down, go to the countryside, spend time alone. From my view, we have all the answers inside, we just don't look. So that's why I say that. If I had to choose between one extreme or the other, between a lot of screens and 0 screens, I prefer a world, I understand,
I've thought about it and I agree with you.
in which there are no screens of any kind. Now it's too late. Now it's too late to go back to that. I think it's impossible, and there's no point in looking back when we're here and what's coming is ahead of us. Not me, for example, man. The blackout, I found out, he told me, 2 days went by and they told me, like, there was a blackout. Oh, there was a blackout. It's there in my field.
Calm.
You don't know a damn thing. You know what the problem is, man, when you live in the countryside, in your house, without so many people around, and obviously you just leave it alone. I have friends, they come to my house, we have barbecues. You know, it's not like I'm antisocial, you know? I love socializing. I really enjoy it. I'm here with you. I'm having a great time. But honestly, I feel like, and I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just, I can't say it enough. Would the world be a better place, man, if people moved to the countryside and used their phones less, man?
I somewhat agree. There are nuances, but I understand your point.
100.
Speaking about your field of expertise now, I think it's very important to wrap up the topic of sales. I want you to give a little masterclass here on this podcast about the importance of having the ability to know how to sell, because I believe it's the best skill anyone can develop to make money. If you sell, you make money. There's no other way.
And watch out.
And if you know how to sell, do you know how to flirt?
Yes, and if you know how to flirt, you know how to sell, and knowing how to sell, yes, you have that foundation.
Yes, you have that foundation. I think flirting is selling.
It's about selling yourself. That's what I look for when hiring a salesperson. I value the fact that first, they've had a relationship, and second, if they're still in that relationship, because then there's the fact that it's one thing to start a relationship and another thing to maintain it, right? There's a saying, if you know how to sell, you'll never go hungry, and that's true. You don't even need to be a genius. I mean, with the general level of competition in society today when it comes to sales, you don't have to be a Jordan Belfort, for example, or a Grant Cardone to make a living, right? Everything feels like a sale, even deciding where to eat. I need to pitch my idea to you, or since we're in your area, you pitch to me. Where are we eating? Okay, Minchita, we're paying for a trip, but where if she and I want different places? I need to pitch going to my place, not the one I'm thinking of, or say I have a car and want to pay for a trip, but I'm low on cash. If you can't sell, you can't sell the car. Now you know how to sell, move, and pull strings. But then there's also the fact, and this is important, the one who knows how to sell but doesn't have the abundance mindset. So for me, there's this formula, which is the one I use to train salespeople. Energy combined with skill creates results, but if you act from scarcity, skill alone isn't enough. You won't reach abundance, right? If you operate from abundance, but you don't have any skill, well, you'll get a little bit. Abundance, but not as much as you'd have with fully polished skills, right? So there are those two nuances, and the results are the outcome of combining abundant, conscious, aligned, detached energy with a well-polished skill. Now, when you take it to the professional field, it's about your ability to generate results with a client or with a company. It depends on the quality of the conversations you have, on how well you're conducting the conversation with that person. So the more you train your skill, the fewer conversations you need to have to achieve the same kind of results. I don't know if you're following, so it's fundamental, man. I think anyone watching this would agree that if you know how to sell, you'll never go hungry. And I would add, if you have an abundance mindset, if you operate from scarcity and attachment, and you sell crap just because you need money, I mean, you're going to be poor your whole life.
Yes, I understand perfectly. There's something that I think is very key in all the training and academies for people who might be getting trained to be a closer. A closer can be a closer from Venezuela. A closer can be from anywhere in the world. Yes, I think it's the best skill to escape from in my opinion, to escape from the matrix. Because if you have the gift of gap, I remember people who are closers, right? Because my brother, for example, my little brother, man, he's a hell of a closer. And the bastard, man, he never got good grades, right? And I'm also another character from Warner Brothers who academically was just messing around, being stubborn with my buddies. I was a terrible student, but then I focused and got to it. I studied something that I don't do nowadays, which is taking care of golf courses, care of sports turf. I mean, I'm an expert in taking care of soccer and golf fields.
Have you come?
Yes.
Damn, and what made you do that?
And I did that because I left. They kicked me out of my house in 2016 saying, "Look at you, you scoundrel."
Damn.
I've already said that I was a troublemaker. I was a real wild boar. I swear to you. In fact, here's a little anecdote, very interesting. There's a member of my community named David. One day he told me, "Man, my son is really stubborn." And I asked, "But how old is your son?" He said, "If my son were like you." I asked, "How old is he?" I don't know what he told me.
19. Damn. And I was like, how is he doing, man?
And I was like me. Hey, I think you're staying with your girl right now. You're in a 28-year-old's groove.
Be careful.
Be careful what you wish for. Yes, I've been stubborn. I've come home with a broken face. I've made it here.
You've got street smarts. 3
days lost out there. My mom calling my friends asking, "Where is this kid?" Jaleo. I've been really stubborn.
A character like that.
A legendary big shot, you know? So epic. Everyone has their own process, but they kicked me out in 2016. They sent me to Panama with my uncle Laureano, and I started working in the golf world. And I loved it. Man, I was on a field full of grass in Panama. It was beautiful, and I loved the world of golf. This job ultimately gives me peace.
And the field?
Yes, I am out in the field in the morning, the views, the birds, it's spectacular. In fact, what I really miss is waking up at 5 in the morning and getting to a golf course and just grabbing my equipment and the fresh air. I really miss that feeling. Honestly, it still affects me, but in the end, here I am.
Life goes around? Yeah.
What the hell were we talking about?
I don't know. I got lost there too, but I stuck with that last part.
Yeah, no.
But what were we talking about? Damn, man.
What were we talking about?
We both lost track.
I remember now. I recall what we were talking about when Irgen jumped in. This is very typical of my attention deficit hyperactivity disorder we were talking. So at the end of the day, I've always been able to express my ideas fluently, which ultimately is a sale. I also sell what I believe in.
Your ideas.
My podcast is a constant sale.
Constant, listen to me.
Is there a way of living that's better for you?
Also,
I believe it 100% because I'm not a great salesman. Why? Because I think a great salesman is able to sell you something he doesn't believe in. And to me, that seems immoral.
not for me. I feel the same way.
I'm not capable of selling something I don't believe in. I'll sell it to you. Yes, I'm sure, brother. This is good for you and I know it's good, or I believe it's 100% good. I'll sell it to you. I'm good.
That's how it must be. But if not,
I can't sell to you. Put it in this fund. And when, I don't know, 5 more people just to get a commission, are there people who are capable of doing that? They already seem like dirty rats to me.
yeah, no.
That's not the way. And I think at some point they'll pay for it. And my brother too. My brother was always like that, you know, man. Now he's earning more than any 22-year-old in Spain because he's a great closer. Dude, he's good at what he does. So those are skills that are extremely well paid.
Dude, 100. And it's one of the best ways to move forward in the cash flow quadrant, as Robert Kiyosaki tells us. And in the cash flow quadrant, like in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he mentions that after all, we'd all love it. And after all, that's the path I'm on, to live, to have our money work for us. That's where real financial freedom is. The moment when your money works for you, not someone else. No, your money working for you. You have it in real estate, an index fund, or whatever, right? But to get there, first you have to accumulate enough money so that with a 10, 20, 15% return, it gives you enough to live the way you want, right? So where do you get that money from? Your business is the only thing that's going to make you that kind of money so that, well, you know, you can invest and see. Each person depends on what they need, or sorry, not what they need, but what they require to live the lifestyle they want. No, but how would I know? Suppose you want to live on 100,000 euros a year, spending that amount on food, travel, dinners, gas, and other expenses. You'd go through 100,000 euros annually. That's a 10% return on your investment. You need to have €1 million invested, but to invest €1 million, you have to get it from a business. Here's the mistake 99% of entrepreneurs make early on. They start out as employees, to wanting to set up a big business. Robert Kiyosaki explains that first, you need to become self-employed, work independently, not with a team or anyone else. Learn to earn money outside of being an employee, since that just trades money for my time. But really, don't we all trade time for money? But do you get what I mean then? From my point of view, closing and setting, any kind of skill where you can provide a service to one or more companies or one or more people, it's the best way to advance in that cash flow quadrant. Employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. If you're an employee who wants to become an investor or business owner and have your money work for you, like Robert Kiyosaki says, what should you do? First, be self-employed, develop a skill that you can offer in service to humanity. I mean, from one person, from one company, or from several, and make money that way, and with what you have left over from being self-employed. You invest in starting a business and the necessary equipment, because you'll agree with me that a business is only as good as its team.
Absolutely.
A team gets paid, right? Where do you get the money for that team from a business you're starting from scratch that you don't have? Plan A just doesn't make sense to me. So is there anything else you would share with the world, man, with anyone who's watching this? If you aspire to be a business owner, first develop some kind of skill that you can offer to the world independently, without needing anyone else. Man, it could be closing, it could be setting, it could be any kind of skill. Man, damn, it could be a bricklayer, a plumber, whatever. Set yourself up well and work independently, make money, and then whatever you have left over, invest it in a business, and whatever the business generates, put it to work for you. Why say all this? Because closing, in my view, is one of the best places to start. You know what I mean? Learn to communicate, learn to sell. And something you mentioned that I think is important to point out, right? Well, there are people like me who work in sales, or all the people I train who work in sales. We're called salespeople, the type who sell things they don't believe in. For me, man, it's essential not to sell something you wouldn't sell to your own mother or that you wouldn't buy yourself.
Have you ever had a bad experience? Because earlier you said that, yes, as an agency, you've sold some info product that wasn't worth it. No?
And I realized it later, you know? I mean, I wasn't aware that I was working with someone who wasn't an expert. Yes.
Who wasn't an expert in their...
Someone acted like an expert, but I realized they weren't, so I let them all go. I mean, maybe they were making me 5, 6, even 10,000 euros a month. But as soon as I found out they were like just full of hot air, I didn't care. I let them go. I don't want dirty money. It only causes problems. Absolutely.
So you have had some and you let those clients go?
The one out.
And it's like the feedback comes from the actual consumers of the product?
Not from consumers, but from actual users of the product? Or from me learning about people in the real story? I mean, he's an expert, you know? So the expert tells you his story and you go, oh, wow, that's awesome. What a genius, right? But then you hear certain details and you go, okay.
Yeah, this guy. It's not that he did trading exactly. He didn't do amazing crypto trading, but he sells the course. He was selling packages there in Malaga.
Yes, for example, not to that extent, but not the typical guy who pretends to be an expert. But he made money with the course, not me.
I think that's the key, man, for people. To know how to tell if a course is worth it or not, it's the person who's giving you the training. If you take this course income out of their annual revenue, does it affect them?
It's no good.
You have to trust people who already generate a cash flow.
And truly,
they don't care about the academy thing and they don't care about the topic.
No.
I do this because I need people, and in fact, that's where the definitive standard is. If you sell courses for people to make money and you don't make money...
That money, I mean...
You don't profit from the skill you teach, so you're a fraud.
You're a fraud.
And it happens a lot.
It's exactly the same.
It happens a lot.
That's why they spent 2 years working with him, man. I made him $1.5 million in sales from McKay. Before I taught anyone anything about that, I didn't even upload videos on social media about how to do it. 2 years of just executing and then with people. Closing, going all out.
Understanding how a sales funnel operates.
How to optimize, how to do follow-ups, how to use a CRM, how to fill out a key performance indicator, the key performance indicator S, that people, there are people in sales that I mention key performance indicator, and they say, what, the key performance indicator S? No, the key performance indicator S, key performance indicators. I mean, I consider that I reached maybe not the top 1, but the top 3 in my niche, in closing and setting, in converting leads into sales, you know? And when I already knew that, okay, I've got the NEP, you know, now I can teach someone else, you know?
Yeah.
I then started an agency. Damn, I'm not going to be training people in something that I mean, especially in sales, like, how the hell are you going to lead someone in something you haven't done yourself? Man.
There are people, man, who are really shameless. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, but it's more, there are cases, dude, with...
Let me share something personal. Do you know how many people ask me for one-on-one mentoring?
Idiota.
I want an hour with you, and honestly, man, I feel like in 1 hour, I can't really give you the help you need. I really can't.
No, remember when I said at the start, man, 1 hour, not an hour?
We don't have enough time, man. They're asking me, and I'm giving up thousands of euros, man. That's just how it is. Either I structure something in a way that I really feel I can help you out, or I don't. Yes, I'll charge you by the hour since I don't have extra time, and I aim for a high rate.
Obviously, so...
Why would I charge you an hour-long session when I honestly don't even have the time or the desire? If I don't even know if I'm really helping you or not, and people say, no, but Jota, do it, man, it's a source. No, I'm not going to do it until I have it structured. Hey, how much could I do it? Like this, right now? No way in hell, man. I just can't. I can't. So I'd rather not do it, even if I make less money. I'd rather not do it.
Man.
Because if I feel like I'm not really directing, I need to have a structure set up for what you do. How?
How do you do it?
What do you want? Change? a form like, hey, what do you want me to help you with? Am I skilled enough to do it? It's too many things.
Man,
But it's a lot, you know? I mean, there are hundreds of people who have told me this, and we're talking about thousands of euros, which I'm literally saying no to because of lack of time, and honestly, because I'm not convinced. Whether in an hour I'm really going to help you or not.
you're going to be able to help them. 100%, 100%, no doubt. I'm with you on that, man. He leads by example. For me, that's a core company principle. And the result is the clients, our North Star. When I started the academy, I was intentional about it. I'm not just here to set one up, make a bit of money in 1, 2, 3 years and then disappear. And we're not going to build something big, something that really changes the lives of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And you can only do that if you have enough time, and you're only going to have enough time. If your North Star is your client's results, if your North Star is your own pocket, it's not going to flow. I mean, I've never been actually... At the beginning, when I started the social media marketing agency, man, it was all about making money, just to make money. What happened? I was earning less than half of my potential. You know, then when I shifted my focus from making money to helping my friends, everything clicked, so things started flowing and haven't stopped since. Also, you can check, for example, the Academy's Trustpilot, which is freaking Trustpilot. It started because someone who wasn't even a client gave us a damn 1-star review. And we said, well, since they've created a Trustpilot for us, let's get our clients involved.
Why did he give you 1 star? Did he leave a review?
Some guy who wasn't even a client left a review about something. I don't even remember what it was, just that it was there on Trustpilot. The only 1-star review there is. And the rest? Well, we're at 4.8.
4.8?
Yes.
Damn, you see?
It's a 4.8, only because one guy gave us a bad rating. Otherwise, it'd be a 5.
What a bastard. Let's get him.
Son of a bitch. Anyway, I'm saying this because there's a lot of crap out there. And when you sell, you have to sell something that really, man, you say this is going to help this person 100%, because then it's not really about selling anymore. You're changing their life while also creating a barrier to entry for them to take that step.
Well, man, it's been a huge pleasure having you here, Christian. This has been a show that's had a bit of everything. We've touched on psychedelic conspiracies.
Psychedelics, dragonflies, fields, cities.
I've loved it, man. I want the audience to know that Christian will also come to give a closing masterclass to the members of my private community, and you can ask him any questions you want. And, well, Christian, if you want to say goodbye by saying something to the audience.
Yes, thank you very much for taking the time to get this far. I hope you liked it. And if you can make a little summary of everything you got from this interview, it will help you integrate it all much better. My message is simple. Expand your consciousness, be present, and know where you're headed. Spend more time in nature and leave the city if possible. But, well, that's it. Everyone at their own pace, and get out of here, man. Get out of there. You got it. Much love.
Christian is awesome. That's all for today. The link to join my private community is pinned in the comments, and if you want to buy the Testeret drink, the link is in the description. That's all for today. See you in the next episode of The Factory.